noises that are so high frequency we cannot hear them, and any other animals can't either. So that helps them when they're hunting to communicate with each other. And each dog in this pack can go about 35 miles per hour for 5 miles. So when you add that up,
continuous?
yeah.
Oh my God.
So they're wonderful endurance runners. When you add that up in a pack of up to 40 dogs, they're gonna wear an animal down really, really quickly by relaying. They take turns running that animal down, and they'll actually station themselves up ahead on the hunt to be able to do that. So they're pretty much unstoppable animals. We feed them a ground up meat, but they also will kill anything that comes into this enclosure.
Oh my God.
So rabbits, groundhogs, they don't make it out alive if they decide to make the poor life decision to go in there. I remember when the yearlings in here were just pups, and they actually got a Canada goose when they're only, oh my goodness, they're only a few months old. Really, really young, and they spent the whole day passing it back and forth between each other, like running around the enclosure, grossing out all of our guests. And I would definitely suggest, since you love painted dogs so much, to come back for a sunset tour, because we actually do feedings and talk about them during those tours. So, and also it's during sunset, and you get a meal and everything. It's pretty cool. And there was one sunset in particular, it was my favorite. We got a white-tailed deer carcass. Somebody had hit one around this area and donated it to us. These guys tore apart a whole carcass in under 4 minutes.
Wow.
So it's really impressive to see that. They get all in there. The male is usually, he was going nuts. He was like finding a certain organ in there. But they're covered in blood. It's just such a cool way to see them if you don't have a weak stomach, I guess. Because that's going to be similar to what they are like in the wild. They're vicious animals, absolutely relentless, and you would never ever want to catch yourself in a situation where you're near a painted dog.
Do you guys enter the area?
No, they have to be locked in if anybody enters into the enclosure here. With cheetahs, our keeper has used a push mower to mow while they're in there with him since the beginning of this facility. These guys, you definitely can't do anything like that with them.
How many how many of the dogs run in a pack in the wild?
So usually it's up to 40 dogs in a pack,
Really?
which they can reach that size pretty quickly. The packs consist of, it's a familial pack, so it's usually just you're going to be your dominant male, dominant female, and they're puppies. So they can have up to 20 pups in a litter, which is absolutely insane. They can double their pack in one litter. Those pups are going to stay with them for a couple years and then go and start their own new packs. What's really amazing about these guys is that they will suppress cycling. The dominant female will prevent any of the females in this group from cycling until they go off and start their own pack. She emits a pheromone, and it keeps them all suppressed so that there's no inbreeding. We never have to worry about that with these guys. Yeah, they're a fascinating species.
What if like a doe or another dog species was in here? Would they attack it as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They'll attack
Absolutely.
anything?
And
Yep, anything living, breathing.
But together they're very cooperative, so to their own species they don't attack themselves, each other.
Right. It's a very tight-knit group with a set-in-stone hierarchy. Dominant male is going to make sure that that's set in stone. He is the physically dominant one in the group. And they work together to take care of each other, which is really incredible. They will actually regurgitate food for any of the members in the pack. Usually it's going to be pups or the elderly. They can go up to any adult in the pack and if they're hungry and have food regurgitated for them.
wow.
So they always feed the pups and the elders first.
And are they okay with other packs?
That is tricky. it's really just within the family there. So if you put another pack into the group, they would likely fight because then they would need to reestablish that whole hierarchy system that they've already got.
So this
going
is all
on
one
here.
big family then?
Yes. Yeah. This is two our male female pair, and then they're the 2 litters that they've had.
If one was by itself, would it be like obviously like it wouldn't be by itself in the wild, but like
Right. They're not as dangerous when they're by themselves because they're not going to have that security of the pack when they're by themselves. So there actually has been a situation before where our keeper went in there and there was one remaining dog in there, and so but what it did was it ran to the corner because it didn't have that security in numbers. So they definitely need each other to be as aggressive and
They're not big
dominant
animals.
as they are.
They're
Yeah.
not very big.
No, they're not. They're not. They're not massive dogs, but man, their bite force is really
I
incredible.
believe it.
It's debatable whether the painted dog or the hyena has the greatest bite force.
How heavy are they, like when they're full grown?
They're like 80 pounds. I would
80
say.
pounds.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bigger than I thought then.
Which one's
Yeah,
the-
they're heavier than you would expect.
You can
Uh,
never domesticate them, could you?
No.
Yeah.
No, I mean it would take thousands and thousands
lots
of
of
years of
Yeah.
selective breeding for them to even be tame.
Yeah.
You know, you can't raise a pup from birth and expect it to be tame at all.
Yeah.
It's just too engraved in their instincts.